All right, listen up. Today, we're diving into a story that every single Indian exporter absolutely needs to hear. It's about a man named Rajan, and it's about a single order that was supposed to be his big break. But instead, the very financial system that was meant to support him nearly crushed him. This is the story of the invoice that almost broke a man.
Just let that quote sink in for a second. My banker sold me a mortgage when I had gold in my hands. That right there, that's the core of this whole mess. It's not just business. It's a feeling of complete and utter betrayal. This is a brutal cautionary tale about who you trust when everything is on the line.
So, let's meet the man at the center of this, Rajan Murugasan. He's a respected knitwear exporter from Tirupur, probably a lot like many of you. After 14 long years of grinding, of building his business, he finally lands it, the order of a lifetime. You know the one, the deal that's supposed to make all the struggle worth it. But what looked like a dream was about to turn into a carefully laid financial trap.
Now get your head around these numbers. We're talking about a confirmed 82 lakh rupee purchase order from a solid German buyer. In the export world, that piece of paper is as good as gold bullion. But there's a catch, right? To get it done, Rajan needed 38 lakhs in working capital. And he didn't just need it soon, he needed it like yesterday. The clock was ticking, and it was ticking loud.
So with this golden ticket, this confirmed PO, in his hand, Rajan did what any of us would do. He walked into his bank, to a manager he'd known for years, a man he trusted. He thought he was going to get a solution. What he got instead was a sales pitch. A pitch designed to make the bank money, not to help him. Just listen to the language here. Competitive rate, get this done quickly. The manager, this Mr. Hariharan, he frames a business term loan as the one and only quick option. And watch the move he pulls. It's brilliant in a terrible way. He completely ignores the 82 lakh asset Rajan brought him, and instead, he focuses on Rajan's biggest personal asset, his factory. He sold him a mortgage.
And this, right here, is where the story takes a dark turn. Because the most important part of that whole conversation wasn't what the banker said. It was what he deliberately, strategically left out. This wasn't some simple mistake or an oversight. No, this was a calculated omission.
So why did he do it? Well, it's simple. The bank had its own agenda. See, they needed to hit their quarterly targets for these term loans. They get bigger processing fees from them. They lock in years and years of interest payments. Financing against Rajan's actual invoice would have been way cheaper and faster for Rajan, but it just wasn't profitable enough for them. It was a disgusting conflict of interest, and Rajan was the one left to pay the bill.
And just when you think it can't possibly get any worse, it does. A spike in yarn prices meant Rajan was short another 9 lakhs. So he turned to an NBFC agent, a guy named Dilip, who offered a quick fix. Simple buy, he says. Only 22%. 22%. That's not a solution. That's financial poison being sold with a smile and a promise of no headache. The real headache was just beginning. Let's be brutally crystal clear about this. Rajan was holding a confirmed 82 lakh rupee asset. It was valuable. It was secure. But instead of treating it like one, they used it as an excuse to bury him in 2 separate, expensive, predatory loans. They convinced him he needed to go into massive debt when he was already holding the value right there in his hands.
Okay, now we get to the really painful part. We're going to break down the cold, hard numbers. And I want you to understand, this isn't just the cost of doing business. This is the price tag of being cheated. This is the mathematics of betrayal. So I want you to really think about this question. In just a single 90-day payment cycle for one order, what was the total financial damage from following this so-called expert advice? The final number is going to make you sick. First up, the cash that was just set on fire. Over 1,87,000 rupees. Gone. Poof. Just vanished into thin air, paid as interest on 2 loans he should never, ever have taken. That's money straight out of his pocket for absolutely nothing.
But the real damage, the deep damage, was so much worse. Because all his money was now tied up feeding these monster loans, he had to turn down 2 other orders that came his way. That's 7 lakhs and 40,000 rupees in pure hard-earned profit that just evaporated. It became a ghost profit. He never even got to touch it.
So let's do the final tally. You add the interest he paid to the profit he lost. And the total economic hit from this one single transaction was around 11 lakh rupees. 11. lakhs, wiped out, all because he trusted the wrong people to give him the right advice.
So what was the alternative? What was this big secret that both the banker and the NBFC agent somehow forgot to mention? Well, it wasn't some secret, complicated Wall Street product. It was a standard, simple financial tool that they kept hidden because, frankly, it didn't make them enough money.
It's called export factoring. And honestly, it's beautiful in its simplicity. You don't take a loan against your invoice. You sell the invoice itself. Remember, it's an asset. So you sell it for immediate cash to a company, a factor, and then they go and collect the payment from your buyer later. That's it. No loan, no mortgage, no debt.
And when you put the two options side by side, it's not even a contest. It's night and day. On one side, you have mortgaging your factory land. On the other, nothing. The invoice is the asset. You have crippling interest payments versus a simple lower fee. You have waiting weeks for your money versus getting it in 2 or 3 days. And this is huge. The risk of the buyer not paying gets absorbed by the factor, not you. The outcome? Instead of losing 11 lakhs, Rajan could have freed up his capital and made over 7 lakhs in additional profit.
Look, hearing Rajan's story should make you angry. It's infuriating. But being angry doesn't do any good unless you turn it into action. So this last part is about giving you the one simple tool you need to make sure this never, ever happens to you.
At the end of the day, this is the entire deception, boiled down. They took his valuable asset, that confirmed invoice, and they told him it was a problem that required expensive debt. They turned his strength into a weakness that needed a mortgage. You have to see this scam for what it is and never fall for it.
This is it. This is the question. The 5 words that can save your business lakhs, maybe even crores of rupees. Before you sign a single loan document, before you even think about putting your factory or your house up as collateral, you must ask this one powerful question. Can I factor this invoice? And you make them answer it.
And we're going to end with Rajan's own words, his own painful lesson that can now become your powerful shield. His invoice was worth 82 lakhs. He learned the hard way that you sell the invoice, you don't mortgage your life for it. Your confirmed order isn't a reason to go into debt. It is a valuable asset you can sell. Ask the right question, protect yourself.